Okay. So I thought we could review a few trades. Had a couple of questions on SE, um, Oxy. We played Oxy yesterday on a tighter. We set up a trade plan on this on Wednesday, and one of the trade plans at the time was it was kind of coming up here into this resistance level, was pick it up off of a VP level, which was down here, and play it up. Right, that was the more aggressive route, and that actually happened. And then we this thing pulled down into here, and we got a couple of really decent ad spots. I put it on here because this was where the main VP and this line matched up were was a great entry spot. So I grabbed some there, and it's kind of been bouncing around, but you can see it hasn't really broken down, and I'm hoping to see it work its way back up. The target here is this green line at about 68.26, which is a gap close from earlier. So that one's in play. Costco was a great play. We were in that yesterday and sat through this dip, which took a little bit of heat, but it came back pretty quickly. Took profits up into this resistance level, and then it came back down. And I was asking Nate, I was like, "Hey, look at this reload spot," and because we're coming into, as you can see, we're coming into VWAP and these yellow support line levels that we had put into this pattern. So I put some on there, yeah, in kind of into the close late afternoon hours yesterday, and then we got this the old slip and rip, as they say, and or as I say. I don't know that anybody else says the slip and rip. I don't know if that's a thing, but it is now. And this thing popped up, gave us some great profits here this morning. That's what they all say, right? The old slip and rip, or dip and rip. I guess it would be a dip and rip, right? And but I think if we all participate in officially changing that to the slip and rip, it just sounds better. It's very technical. Or are you saying what I'm saying is very technical and hard to follow, David? Yeah. If that's what you're if that's what you're asking, yeah, all of it. Are you somewhat new to the room? Are you here for the open house? This is the kind of stuff that we go through. Um, this is the kind of stuff we go through every single day. And what you're seeing now, or what you're hearing now, I'm just kind of recapping some trades that we've done in the room this week. Now you see all these lines on my chart. These yellow lines are support and resistance levels, which we came in and drew together and made a trade plan. And they are based on both the chart pattern and volume profile, which is price volume by price, which gives us support and resistance levels. And I'm recapping trades that have been set up over the week, and talking about ones that have worked and ones that haven't worked. But the more you hear this kind of stuff, the more you run through it, the more you practice it, um, you begin to understand what we're looking at, and you start to understand what it is I'm talking about when I say, we popped up here to resistance, sold, and then rebought here at VWAP and support levels for a push back up. Um, Obviously, if that's all new terminology, then I can see how that is, drinking through a fire hose, and hard to understand. But we have tons and tons and tons of videos, and we're on the mic every day. At least one or two of us is on the mic every single day, if not all three of us. and we just talk about these things, and it really kind of helps solidify that knowledge. People in here are, that are typing in, you can see in the chat, I've been listening to this for months, and now I finally understand what we're talking about. This charting platform is TradingView. Both Nate, Bear, and myself use this. D-Man uses TC2000. Also a great charting platform. Ooh, 82% on Tesla. Nice job. Love that. Just joined today. Congrats. Welcome. That's awesome. How many of you in here are new and just that were, wait, let me rephrase, that were here for the open house and signed up this week? Put a 3 in chat. You're here for the open house first time, and you signed up this week for DPL. Awesome. God, I can't wait for next week, right? We'll do, D-Man has said he's going to do some trainings on different edges. I'll do some intro basics stuff for everybody that's new. We do have a couple of videos on how to navigate the site, some of the terminology that we use. There's an FAQ. So I think that's awesome. I'm excited to work with everybody. Not only the people we've been working with, over the last 2 years, but all the new people. It's just so much fun. I mean, that's why we're in here, and that's why we do it, right? It's sort of the teach you to fish while making money at the same time is just a blast. And I love that. I love that shared experience that we all have. And so when you get in on Monday, don't feel pressure to understand all of it right away. It's a lot. Yeah, I'm getting there, JMC. I'm getting there. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Okay, so we talked about Oxy. Costco was a great trade. Nate has been smoking it, and the rest of the room's been smoking it on Riley. And then SE is the one that is just not working. What I did yesterday, we put this trade on for a pop up, and what we were looking for was a pop into the recent high. And we were coming off a presentation from Nate about lottos and what the lotto style is. And we came in and we saw this SE chart on the 30-minute, which is a TPS setup, right? It's still a valid setup. In fact, let me get rid of this real quick. In fact, we're at a support level here, right? This is a volume profile support level and chart support level. I still like SE long term, into next week. We tried a lotto, which means a same week expiration for a pop into the morning, and we got a little bit of a pop. I was managing another trade and just didn't quite take this off, and it faded down into point of control, and it bounced a little, and then it faded down all the way to our support level and our last ditch stop out level. Now it hasn't broken down out of there, but because this was a 1 day one DTE, right, 1 day to expiration, the value on these, once they got down to here, was we lost 80% of the trade value. And what I had said and made very clear, and this is part of what a lotto is, these were selling for I think 88 cents, right? And that's not 88, that's 88, little oblong 8. And I said, don't put any more than you're willing to lose, because that's what a lotto is, right? A lotto is, a short dated option That's like, if this thing pops, I'm gonna make 200 or 300%, right? But I'm also not gonna, at 88 cents, I bought 5 contracts. Not really sure what the math in that is in that, but that's under $500 into a trade. So, I think my loss on this was, 300 and something or 200 and something. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, it was about 360, so, and I didn't even let these go to zero. I could see that this thing was gonna die out. Now, I do like this pattern for a potential move back up into next week. And as the day shapes up, if this level holds, I may add that into next week, right? But this was a lotto, and I only bought 5 contracts. I was willing to risk all of that, $450 or whatever that was. Um, and my loss on it was 380. And so for my account size, that was absolutely an acceptable risk for me. And this one loss did not blow up my week. I've had a phenomenal week, right? I've been sniping like crazy. Sniping win rate. At the end of the day, I'll post the sniping win rate for the week. But that's like, I think I've got like 17 wins and 3 losses. I think maybe 4 losses, somewhere around there. I'll have to pull up the sheet and we can look at it in my next session later today. And as we kind of wrap things up, plus Costco was a great trade. Some Riley earlier in the week, Oxy. There's been some great trades. So this did not blow up my week at all. It was probably the only TPS loss I took. Berserk, you're 3 for 4 snipes today. Well done. I love that. Yeah, I love, and Nate will say this too, and so will D-Man, is um, I love it when, we come in and we talk about a trade style or a trade that we like, not necessarily a trade like a name and an actual trade, but a style of trading or a name that we like, and someone else takes that information and makes the trade their own and posts winnings. I don't know, Nate or D-Man, if you're in here, but there is, at the moment, and you can back me up on this, there is nothing more satisfying than seeing people take either a trade idea or a trading style and make it their own and post losses. It's so cool. Neither one of them might not be any. Oh, here he is. Yeah, it's so gratifying. So please, yeah, if you've got wins on stuff, like let's look at this. Let's look at the sniper. Right, we talked about the sniper quite a bit. How many of you in here let's put a 9 in chat if you tried some sniper plays this week and had profits, right? And had some profits. That's awesome. Hell yes. Love it. 800% yesterday. 40% today. That's awesome. And 5 each for 40%. Maybe I'm reading that. That's how I'm reading. Awesome. See, that's great. 4K. I mean, fantastic. I absolutely love that. Yes, I'm recording this session. So, and now that we've sort of figured out how to post the sniper trades so that they're at least slightly doable for other people in this room, because they happen very fast. We had to figure out a methodology, or I had to figure out a methodology so that they were at least easy to track and do in the room. We're going to be doing tons more of those every day, unless it's a super range bound day, and then we just stay out of the market, right? Yeah, Deb, if you're under the PDT rule, that is certainly an issue. Depending on what you trade, if you there are options to get around that. D-Man uses some offshore accounts that aren't subject to the PDT. I trade mostly options, both snipe and TPS. And if I'm going to do a small account challenge pretty soon with the boys, using mostly snipes, and you can get around that by doing a cash account. And you can only use the money you have available in that account, and then you're kind of done for the day. But options settle overnight, so the next day you have that same amount again. So that's always an option, and then you're not subject to the PDT. The other option is you can have a margin account that's under 25K and just trade futures. Futures are also not subject to the PDT rule. So there's certainly ways around it, but it's also, a good, it forces you to be a good trader too, because you have to spend your time only taking A+ setups, and you can't just get chopped up all over the place, because you have to make sure that, the trades you're taking are good quality trades, because you only get 3 per 5-day rolling period. So, does anybody have any setups they want to look at here? Yeah, if you don't know what a sniper trade is, Nate Bear has a video on that, and then I also have a video on that. You can learn how to do that. The sessions earlier this week, we talked about them as well. Those are also recorded. You looking at the Riley 5-minute? Oh yeah, look at that. Riley seems real quiet at the moment. Either getting ready to explode for more, or gonna give us a pull maybe to entry, for a new entry. Yeah, you want me to send out the sniper video here? Let me grab it real quick.
Okay, so
let's see. Okay. So this is the sniper 1.0. 1.0 vid, which gives you an idea of how we started this process, right? And then there is one where we covered lost my feed there. Hold on a sec. We did a session on the 2.0, which is what this has evolved more to doing more of the 2.0, which is more of a continuation. Sniper 2.0 video. Whoops. There you go. Those are both posted for you. Yeah, nice, Berserk. It's very similar to what I'm doing, right? And this chart that I'm using here, it's taken some time for me to find the indicators that would work to help inform this trade. Like I said, I was doing this the 2.0s through a little bit more of my own decade plus trading experience, but I wanted to kind of create some rules that made it easy for others to see when we get, a structure breaks, when we're in a trend, um, and uh, and so I'm kind of almost finished developing the rules here on the Sniper 2.0 style trades, which I'll do a whole video on once we have it. Yes, I'm using the desktop version of TradingView. SAM is something, yeah, you buy through this service. It's a separate scanner, and it is really really powerful. It is really powerful. I found all those setups. I found that Oxy setup, the Costco setup, the SE setup, all through SAM this week. Yeah, Roger. SAM is here. I'll show you. SAM is this tool that helps us find squeezes on different time frames. And it is super powerful. You see all these A pluses on something like STZ. We have some nested squeezes here in KDP, and this is just the S&P 500. We have the Nasdaq. We have each one of our three private watch lists. I used to do all this scanning in Thinkorswim, and now I just do it right here. It's super easy because I can see multiple time frames all at the same time. Uh, Whereas in my Thinkorswim, um, let's see where to go. It's here somewhere. This is my Thinkorswim. I only see that this is my scan for 30-minute squeezes, right? And it doesn't also. I mean, it does show me. Okay, it also has a 1 hour squeeze, but this I can see all the time frames I would normally look at, and I can sort by names with the most squeezes together. So it is super powerful, and I use it multiple times a day. Multiple times. So let's see here. Should we see if we can find something to do here on SAM? I know. Nate was. Well, let's look at Starbucks. Let's look at. I love a 30-minute squeeze. Let's see what we've got going on. Yeah, Starbucks is popping up as probably the best one on here. And then let's see, 30-minute squeeze. A couple of bearish ones. Let's see if anything. STZ. Let's look at Starbucks and STZ. Let's go. S-Bucks. 30-minute. Yeah, it's a little extended. It's coming up into this resistance level. Would have been better off down here by the moving averages. And then what was the other one? Was it STZ? All right, let's go. STZ. Looked like it had 5. Yeah, you can see all these squeezes in here. Wonder if what's that look like on a daily? Ooh. STZ on a daily looks pretty interesting. The only thing is, the only thing that's a little concerning. Wow, look at So look at this. That looks like a pretty interesting TPS style setup, doesn't it? Right? Does anybody see anything interesting when I do this? Which might make you go, maybe I don't want to take that TPS setup. Yeah, more than just a double topper. It is definitely a double topper. But check out, does this pattern look similar to this pattern? I mean, yes, we had a double top. Consolidate, puke. Who knows? This might be consolidate, run up, but ugh, looks like a mirror image. Yeah, I don't know which way this is gonna break, right? So it's kind of like for me, this is more of just, we've double topped here. We've previously pulled off that level, consolidated and flushed some more. It's just maybe it's just a non trade or a tight trade. I mean, because this could certainly continue to go up because it's done it here, right? It's done it here. So I don't know. That just sometimes you look at a chart and you go, that I just there's a somewhat unsettling feeling about the way that looks. So I'm just gonna stay away. It could very well rip, right? I don't know that. I could also go to zero. I don't know, but for me, this is just not. I don't need it. I'll stay clear. I'll find another setup that I like more. Let's look at MKC. MCK, MKC. Let's see. Did I do that right? MKC and MCK. Maybe it was MCK. No. Ooh, yeah, it was. So does this chart have a trend? Yes, it sure does. Earnings in when? 7th. God. This would have been great to pick up on Monday or Tuesday. Right? Because now we're up into we're double topping here into this upper resistance area. And Monday or Tuesday, we were right down here at this point of control level. How big was the squeeze at that point? Oh, man. Yeah. See, so when we talk about an A plus setup, we have our move up. We have our trend. That's our trend. We have our pattern forming here, right? It's already starting to push up. And then we have rounding momentum. So that would be an A plus, although it would have been a better time to get into it right down around here and capture this portion of the move and then a little bit more if possible. So this one, if it didn't have earnings right here, I'd set up a trade plan on it. Like if we get a dip down into, oh, that's going to be an expensive one. All right, we're not going to set up a trade plan on that. Yeah, see this shift in trend and a bearish change of character would be a signal in a 2.0 sniper trade to the downside. But as you can see, we've pretty much held this tight range for quite a while. And we've got VWAP right here. I imagine If we break VWAP, I'll be looking for more sniper plays, or if we break to new highs, one of those two. But if we stay in this range, I'll probably just stay clear, keep my profits for the week. No need to get chopped up on a Friday. Nate was talking about that. Don't, you know, he said, what, remember when he said, what am I going to say? Does anybody know what I'm going to say? And he said something completely different, but he used, usually we'll say, don't lose your ass on a Friday, right? If you've had a great week, especially as you get into the later parts of Friday, right? The morning is always more volatile. There's more movement. Things happen. Um, but if you've had a great week and you come in and do a little trading on a Friday morning, there's nothing wrong with just shutting your computer down so you're not tempted and going golfing or going to work in the yard or taking a nap or whatever else you can come up with, um, because God knows we've all done it. I mean, many of you were saying, "Oh, Nate, you're talking about me," when he was saying this earlier, but I can't. I mean, I can't even count how many times in my trading career I've had a great week and then come in on Friday thinking I'm gonna add to that week and it's just gonna be a blowout week, and I give a massive chunk of it back. Just being dumb. Just being dumb. So you'll notice. I mean, on like a non open house week, D man will usually take Fridays off. Just because over the amount of time that he's been trading and the amount of trades he's tracked by trade and by day and by month, he just knows um, you know when his more profitable days are historically, and it's not a Friday, so why not take that off? Yep, that's why D-Man doesn't trade on Fridays. He also has to find wants to not doesn't have to wants to find time to spend with his family. And so, you know, Friday is the day that he picked to do that. But you'll find it's funny. He doesn't trade on Fridays, but you'll see him in the room. He sneaks. He sneaks just like the rest of us do. All right, anybody want to look at some charts before I'm off? I mean, we're into the lunch hour. Um, there's not much going on. Things are kind of going sideways. We could talk about trading psychology. We could talk about chart setups. We could talk about favorite movies, favorite movie quotes. No, but it's been a busy morning, so everybody should take those breaks. You got to remember to take breaks when it's conducive to doing so, because as you get through a long week like this, you can get to a Friday and you can be pretty mentally exhausted. And so it's important to take breaks both from an energy standpoint and from a psychology standpoint. I only use the MACD charts for MACD line crossovers, right? Which is basically the momentum is switching, right, in the chart. So, for instance, on this one, right, momentum is moving up, and then in this case we get across, but we don't get a full rollover. Momentum here, you see we get across here, and we do get our rollover. So it's essentially these clouds here that you see, they're kind of tracking similar things. They're tracking trend. If the blue line is above the yellow line, we're in a bona fide uptrend, As they cross and go the other way, we could be in a trend to, the downside or a short correction. And as they cross again, that could be a trend to the upside. It's just one indicator that helps inform your choices, but it's not. There's no end all and be all for, for indicators. You have to put a couple of them together with experience and have rules in place for those things to really work. How does the volume profile factor into the price movement? We have tons of video on volume profile. So volume profile on the left hand side is volume at price. Okay, so where you see large chunks, and let me back out. Let me go to a SPY. And let me back out to like a 15-minute chart. Okay, I want to find a good example of how this works. Here we go. So this is the Qs, right? And you can see the different levels of volume profile nodes that stick out. And let me get rid of these lines really quick. Okay, so you see this huge chunk, and this is visible range volume profile, which means this volume profile will change based on what you can see. So if I zoom out to see more of the chart, then this volume profile, these lines are going to change. So can you tell me, based on what you see, why this chunk of volume profile is so big and this one is so small? Does anybody know why the upper one is so big and the lower one is so much smaller? Yes, Mitch, Thinkorswim does have volume profile, but it's not as effective, but it's there. Yes. Yeah. So those of you who say obviously more volume, but why is there more volume here than here? Johnny Mac? Yeah, you got it. You're saying kind of the same thing. This volume profile that we can see right there, that upper section, is all of this trading here, right? All the way until it broke down here, right? So all of the volume that was traded here is represented over here on the left-hand side, right? With the most being traded right down in here, right? So this is what's called my point of control for this level. So if I come up here to the high, you see I'll put a line right there. Oh, come on. Oh, because I hid them. So let me go like this. Let me go remove drawings. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put a line right there. I'm going to make it yellow. That's what's called a value area high. Okay, and what you'll see is that's sort of the end of this volume profile node way up here, right? And as you can see, it is resistance, 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 almost resistance of that pattern, okay? And then down here, we're going to come in and find what would be kind of a value area low. Okay, so I'm going to put a line in right there. And this is this is what's called a value area, right? This is where the market was trying to find a fair value. And so we've got all this trading that's happened in here. And these are our support and resistance levels for that pattern. Now, what happened to this pattern? And this is, so we play the TPS patterns, right? Watch this. I don't know if this will blow anyone's mind or not, but and what are we looking for in a TPS pattern? We're looking for consolidation, trading within a range to set up a squeeze. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what is it, like 20 days, let's say, give or take, so I don't just count them all out. This is a 15-minute chart. Okay, I've put a box around it. What do you want to bet this is a squeeze on a daily? Or a 195 or somewhere around there? Well, what do you know? See, we got red dots. Red dots. This is the box I drew, right? And I could have even opened up that range further back to provide even more information, right? So you see these red dots? That's a squeeze. I can find that on all kinds of charts. And so this consolidation, so if you look, right, if you look at Costco, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around here a little bit, and it's also into the lunch hour. So this here, this section is a value area that they've been trying to establish fair value, market makers and such, right? And we are now looking like we're going to push up out of that. But on a 30-minute chart, what do we see in that box that I just drew? Right? We see a squeeze. So when we look at these larger time frame TPS patterns, the range in which we're in a squeeze, we're setting up a value area with a support and a resistance level, and we're either going to break out of it at some point to the upside or to the downside. And then once inside that range, right? So if we go back to the Qs, and we go back to, I think I was on a 15-minute chart, right? And we look at a shorter time frame, now I can see more information, right? And this, if it even goes back further, so technically on that daily chart, this was the range, right, for that squeeze. This is the consolidation going between our support level, right? And it punctures through a few times, right, but comes right back, break down and reclaim, to our resistance levels, right? And then within that, we have what's called a point of control, which you can see, right? It'll start to disappear because some of it's going away. But right here, this longest piece of volume is the point of control. I usually like to make that red, and that's an over-under line. So how do these inform price, right? They help create these ranges in which you can find support and resistance, and an over-under line, which also acts as resistance, this point of control. So in the example that I was going to show you earlier, right, with the two ranges on the Qs, let me get rid of this. As the Qs are coming up today, we've had some pretty relentless buying, right? Buying, and we're holding these upper levels. This lower section, this smaller VP, that's been created by these people right here. Okay? So all that trading that's showing over here on my left is created by this consolidation right here. Now, if somebody was trying to buy it right here, right, and it went against them, and this is trading psychology, okay, and it went against them, right, and let me redraw that because those don't really move with the thing, but right, somebody's buying in here for a bounce up, and it says, nope, we're out of here, and they didn't sell. What are they doing on the way down besides panicking? Right? They're panicking, they're hoping, and they might be adding, right? But now we've put in a bottom and we've started working our way back up. If they were holding from here and they've been horribly underwater, right? Horribly underwater, price comes back up into this area. What are they going to do? What's the psychology? Oh, I'm underwater, I'm underwater, I'm underwater. Please, 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 please. I just hope it gets back. God, if it just gets back to zero, I'm going to do what? I'm going to sell. Right? So if I have my line here, I knew, and you can watch this today. I mean, we might break through it because this is only a small amount of people, but we have stopped our upward movement here at this line right here because we have some people that are most likely underwater that are needing to get out. And is there enough people needing to get out and not enough buyers that this rolls back over? Or at least a little bit? Possibly. But it's got to chew through all this before it can move forward. Right? And then this yellow line, which is the value area low of that huge chunk above, that's also going to act as some resistance before it pushes through. And then the red line that was point of control is also going to act as some resistance before it pushes through. So these lines, once you learn to chart them and put them on your charts, really can help inform where support and resistance lines levels are going to happen. Does that make sense? Or start to make sense? I know it's a lot. And doing this time and time and time and time and time again just helps you learn. Well, I picked the area to zoom in. For instance, for instance, I want to know if where we're gonna come up and potentially on the cues as we have buying, today. So we're strong today. Where might we find some resistance? Where might we stall? And you can just tick through these charts and go, well, like for instance, are these people super important here? Probably not. If they were down here, they maybe stopped out, or they would have taken profits here. Like, they're just not all that important to me at the moment. I kind of want to know what may or may not have happened there, but we've already moved well up and out of that. But now I'm saying, okay, well, we're coming up into a level. Let's see where a level might be. And so then I do the visible range there, and I say, okay, well, now I can start to see a level forming there. If we start to roll over, right? Let's say we hit this level and we don't push through, and we start to roll over, right? I'm drawing lines. I'm drawing lines, here. And then I'm going to kind of come above this, and I'm going to put a yellow line here and here. I got to make those yellow. I know they're not. This is another value area. And then as I get closer, I can look on a smaller time frame chart and say, okay, so if we do roll from there, these people are going to be in play. So I'm going to move this line down like that to this piece that sticks out, right? And then I'm going to notice, well, our biggest piece is here. So I'm going to make that red. And now I have levels in which we may or may not see some support as we roll over, right? And the larger the level, like for instance, if we rolled over pretty hard, this level here is definitely going to act as some level of support, because you can see all this volume profile from all of these traders right here. So that's kind of how it helps inform it. And then how you can, spend time marking these charts. So if you have a lot of things that you trade on a regular basis, you can, these lines stay on your charts. And so you can just come in and go, oh, we're coming into a certain level, this 505.46. I wonder what that is. I'm going to zoom out to a larger time frame chart, and I'm going to say, oh, okay, so that line that I have there is this VP here, right? Is that really going to give me a lot of, a lot of support? Well, yeah, I can even zoom into this tighter pattern and realize, okay, maybe it's actually just a hair lower when I look at it on that kind of a chart. And then I can come into a 10-minute, right, and say, yeah, that's definitely going to start to act as a support level once we come down. So that's kind of how you use that. And you'll be amazed. There'll be lines that are on my chart. A stock will be pulling back. The one example I can think of the most is, it was a Costco trade. I don't know, a year or two ago. Costco was just flushing for whatever reason. I mean, it was way down on the day. I don't think it was earnings. I think it was some news or something. In like on like a 5-minute candle, it was just straight down, and into an area that I hadn't been trading, and didn't have like these kinds of lines up here. But as I was watching it, thinking, all right, where can a bottom be? I move the chart up like this. Let's just say, and there's this line here, and it was coming in so quick, like it had done, like one candle like this, or maybe it was more like 3 candles, but it felt like one big candle, and it was on some news, and it was coming into this level, and I was like, well, I know this level's here for a reason. I'm gonna take a lotto style trade. I think I bought just one contract because Costco's pretty expensive, and I wasn't sure what this level was. But if it was on my chart, it was a level, right? And because I didn't have it labeled over here or anything, sure enough, it to the penny, it ticked and then put in like a 50% retracement bounce, and I didn't have to go find a level that I thought it was going to bounce off of. It was just like, this level's here. I trust my levels. I'm taking a shot, obviously with a tight stop if it didn't work. And, it was a huge winner because it was a lotto style trade. I think it was a Friday. But that's just the power of learning VP and putting it on your charts. And, color coding your lines so that you kind of know what they might refer to, right? I use red for point of controls and yellows for value area highs and lows, stuff like that. What do we need D-Man to do? Kadeen, I'm Nate. I'm Nate G. Do you want D-Man to show you his volume profile settings, or do you want me to? It's okay. It happens a lot. It's I'm not upset by it. Uh, volume profile settings. I use a row size of 150. Just gives it a little tighter feel. And then there's my style, if you want to copy that. I turn my placements on the left, and I change the colors of my uh, value areas to green and red. The standard is blue and yellow. Oh yeah, YouTube, and there's a bunch of lessons. Oh, thank you, John. You beat me to it. I appreciate it. John. You're always so Johnny on the spot. I love it. You're so good at answering people's questions and putting in links. It's awesome. I love it. I appreciate you. The squeeze settings are just the standard squeeze. I make no changes to the squeeze settings. Row size is 150. And that's just my preference. You could like it better at 80. You could, I just the standard I think is like 50, and they're just like big old chunky mooses. Let's see, what's the row size? Yeah, I mean I don't even know what the default is, but for me I want to see a little bit more data. But a little bit more data can also be a little bit more confusing. So you might like to start it out that way. Yeah, you can do volume profile on toss. If you're a thinkorswim user, put a 1 in chat here real quick. I will send you a video on how to set up your charts for thinkorswim. Hold on, I have to search for it for a second, so just bear with me, and then I'll let everybody go to lunch. I've taken up enough of your time today. Let's see. Building TOS charts for TPS. That's a lot of T's, but building thinkorswim charts, TOS charts for TPS patterns. So here is a video on how to set that up. I do my trading in thinkorswim. So for those of you that are new or are planning to join, on Monday or Tuesday of next week, I'll do a whole session in thinkorswim if you like, if you remind me to do so, making sure that no, I don't think it will work on the web version of TOS. I think that's the desktop version. I've never used the web version, so I don't know. Yeah, TOS is thinkorswim, and not terms of service. That's exactly right. That's the short acronym for thinkorswim. So I'll do that. I'll do that next week for all the new people. I'll do 2 sessions. I'll do a session. I have a video on it, but I'll also do a live session. How to set up your trading view charts to match both Nate and myself's charts for TPS. And then I'll also do a session on thinkorswim on how to set up the charts for that, so that those of you who are using thinkorswim and or TradingView, you can have your charts all set up. I mean, I can also share, and when I do that, I'll just actually share the chart link, so you one, know how to set it up, but 2, you just have it. Yeah, Derek, in the video I just posted above, for thinkorswim, it has how I have the active trader set up. Because the active trader, uh, what do you call it? The little field where you put the ticker has to be different than the chart you're looking at because you put your option contract in there, and you don't want it to then change your chart. I'll do that Monday or Tuesday of next week for all the new peeps. Oh yeah, and they're recorded. In fact, there I have two videos currently, Eric, that are one's for TradingView and one's for Toss on YouTube. They're both up there. The Thinkorswim one is above, and I can post the TradingView one if you guys still want it. Let me see if I can. I think I did them like back to back. Hold on. Here's setting up TradingView charts from scratch. Oops, I should probably actually copy the link, shouldn't I? Oops, setting up TV charts for TPS. There you go. So those are both in there. Question, you can't change volume profile from blue to green, red. Trader AR, what program are you in? Kadeen, yes, they are. You're on. You can't change the colors in Thinkorswim. It's just a gray color. It's not very effective other than finding point and control levels, unfortunately. SPY looks like it's ready to break out. That's an ascending triangle pattern with a little false breakout here. That's a pretty serious break of structure. This could be a 2.0 style trade here, but it's really, this would take some ticks up here to really open up. And then I'd be watching this spike high to see if it would reject off of there or push through. But since I haven't been watching the market and I've been presenting on other stuff, I'm just going to let that one go. But we don't even have a closed candle on that break. This might just be a false signal here. So this is a hard environment right here. This is a hard environment for the snipers because you just get little chops and quick reversals. So on a Friday, doing that, just easier to stay out until we get some more movement. Yeah, TradingView there is a free version, but you only get like one chart and two indicators. To get all of these indicators and multiple charts, you have to have one of the levels of subscription. But to me, it is absolutely worth it. Big time. I use it every day, all day. Okay, that's it for me, y'all. I'm way into your lunch hour. Please, I apologize. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to put Nate's screen back up. He is going to be out until 1 p.m. where he's going to come back on. So there will be no one on the mic. There'll be the red off mic sign, right? That'll be up. And then D-Man comes on a little bit later, and myself, and I think we're supposed to have a little Three Amigos session to close us out. But I'm excited. There were so many people new that signed up for DPL going into next week. I'm excited to work with all of you and continue to find all these great trades. So if you haven't joined up yet, today is the last day. I think there's still a $100 off or $200 off deal going. Ask the mods or find the link in the pinned message above all this, and I will chat with you all here in a few hours as we start to close out this great week. All right, talk to you soon.